everybody, welcome. We are here today at Universal Studios here in Orlando, Florida, and we are less than 2 weeks away from Halloween Horror Nights 2023. I could not be more excited for this. What house are you looking forward to the most?
The Yeti one. Yeti Campground Kills or something? It's a strange name, is that?
Yeah, that's it. Yeti Campground Kills, and I am pretty excited about that one too. I'm hoping it's as good as Dead Man Winter's Wake last year, which I think was the best one last year of all of them. It was a cold house. It was phenomenal. But there are a ton of haunted houses here and scare zones. We are going to go around the park today and check on all the construction and see how it's coming along. I'm excited. So if you're ready for Halloween Horror Nights, come along with us. It is going to be awesome. All right, we are in, and I am already seeing some stuff that is crazy to me. It's in a totally different location than it has been in previous years. You're not gonna believe this. Check this out where this introduction area is. I can already see some of this stuff. Look at this. Right here at the entrance gate, we've got the scaffolding right here, which has been there in the past. It's sort of like the opening area, but right here, as you walk in, I'm already seeing what could potentially be the very first scare zone in this section here. Usually it's further up by Despicable Me and Minion Land, which I'm guessing they decided to move forward this year, which I think is kind of actually cool because it does kind of take you a while to get up there, and this is going to be like a really cool entrance area. And what I'm seeing actually up here is scaffolding on top. So I'm actually wondering if there's going to be people walking around up there or not. But this is interesting that the scare zone, it looks like it has been moved forward from where it has been in previous years. Hello. And I don't know if that's because, you know, Despicable Me, the villains, all that stuff is just brand new, kind of opened, and they want to keep that area sort of clear for lines and things going into that attraction. So they thought it would be better to move it up here. I actually think it's actually better up here in this introduction area because usually when you enter, you have to make a choice as to whether you're going to go right or you're going to go straight to the haunted houses. And you kind of miss out on that introductory area and really cool scare zone if you choose to go right. But if that actually does end up being a scare zone right there, everyone will experience that on their way into the park. So that's actually really cool. All right, so we're gonna head down here to the next scare zones, but I'm curious, what other haunted houses are you actually looking forward to this year?
Chucky for one. That's just kind of like a, you know, an old school 80s or 70s, I don't even know when it was made, but just old school kind of movie. They have made newer ones, but I'll be interested in seeing what the haunted house is like, if it's scary, if it's just kind of funny, or what it is. And also The Last of Us. I haven't played The Last of Us game, but my kids have, and they loved it. I did watch The Last of Us show that was streaming, and I thought that was so good. I know it's not the same, but I'll be interested in seeing what the haunted house is, and I know the haunted house is geared towards the game, but I'll just be interested in seeing that one. And also Monsters Unmasked, all the different Universal monsters. I feel like that might be my second in line of ones I want to see.
Wow, there's actually a ton of stuff out here already. I'm excited about the scare zones this year. They all actually sync together. If you know anything about Dr. Oddfellows, all the scare zones this year, and we kind of covered this in our other videos. I'll link to those below if you're interested in more details on each of the houses and each of the scare zones and the history of them. But this year, all the scare zones are tied together because they're all basically the history of Dr. Oddfellows. And the very first scare zone is the one we just went through and we just talked about, which is Dr. Oddfellow's collection of horrors. And so then from there on, you're going to see all these other ones. And check this out. And this is actually a really big display. Like, this is a big, huge, like, cart, like a carnival cart, like somewhere you would have seen like a snake oil salesman back in the day. It looks like it's got some foot pedals right here, which I'm guessing is going to be for some sort of special effects. I see 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's a 1 over there, foot pedal. I'm guessing for like some sort of show that's going to go on here. I'm guessing Dr. Oddfellow maybe will be here, and he'll be putting on some sort of show. This is also kind of the corner of the actual park right here, so as you're coming in. So this may actually be where like the Pumpkin Lord was over there last year where that Minion sign is. And since that's taken now, this might actually be where Dr. Oddfellow's main area is. And so I'm actually wondering if this is part of this sort of entry scare zone, and then you kind of walk in and you'll see this all lit up, and there'll be show and probably steam and all sorts of effects. That's going to be really cool. And then when we walk over this way, we're going to see the next scare zone, which is the Dark Zodiac. So this is going to be cool. I like that there's all these special effects here potentially. Lots of light stands and stuff, but it looks really neat so far. Woo! I cannot believe we're talking about Halloween as hot as it is right now. I am literally baking. It is so hot here. But that's the way it is in Florida. Halloween is hot. Hot, hot, hot. And we're not even in September yet, so there you go. So this next scare zone I'm seeing already here, we've got some cool little boxes like crates that have these Zodiac symbols on them. You can see them right here. So we were correct. This is the actual Zodiac zone. And it's really easy for us to know we were correct because there's a huge banner right here that actually already says Dark Zodiac. The last time we came through here, only this little box was right here. It definitely didn't have this big banner here, which you can see says Dark Zodiac on it. Actually, let me get it from the other side because the sun is blurring that out. But you can see it says Dark Zodiac all the way up there at the top. Dark and then Zodiac. So definitely we're correct on our speculation maps. This is the location, but I see something else over here. I have absolutely no idea what this is, but let's see if I can get a sneak peek in there. I don't know, there's definitely some LED strip lights in there. So that's going to be lit up, probably got some steam coming out of it. What is this? Some sort of guy with a bow and arrow? Very machine looking, mechanical. So again, another little stage, probably have a person or two walking around on top of that. Wow, they've really got a lot of stuff up already this year. I mean, we are getting close though. And it looks like we reached the end of the Zodiac. Again, another one of those pretty much almost identical machine sort of stages, a little bit different stuff. And then another one of the banners, which kind of marks the end. But what's interesting to me is there's an entire gap between this here and that way over there where there's nothing. So I don't know if they're going to roll some stuff in here or what's going to be in this space. This is usually the biggest scare zone in the park. And aside from a bunch of stuff in the front and the back, there's really not anything in the middle. So we'll see if that gets updated as we get closer to Halloween Horror Nights. Look who's hanging out right outside the show. Got Beetlejuice. If you've not seen that show and you've not seen Beetlejuice specifically in the pre-show, you need to do it. He's absolutely hilarious. He's the best part. I wanted to stop into the store here and see if they had any more merchandise reveal. Looks like the same stuff we've seen already. The Exorcist Believer. They have the Stranger Things stuff in here. Last time we were here. Yep, it's still here. So looks like the same merch. Nothing new in this store. I did want to call out really quickly here by the Universal Orlando Horror Makeup Show, this entrance over here, which is sort of the parade in and out section. This is, hey look, there's a troll. This is where we're speculating the entrance to the Universal Monsters Haunted House will be, potentially also Last of Us, because they are normally over by E.T., but there's a lot of construction over there with DreamWorks, and so speculation is that the entrance is going to be right here if you're looking for that one.
The scare zone we're coming up to next is, last year was my favorite one. It was kind of like a corn maze one without the maze. So there's like scary people in the corn, and I remember this one being scary, and I always feel like it's a little darker over here in this little area, in this little turn. There's not very much room. So I don't know, it's just closer quarters, so you feel like you're closer to the monsters. This year it is jungle themed. So I'm excited for that. I know that I feel like the last 3 years I've really liked this scare zone the best. So hopefully they don't scare me too much.
Yeah, the jungle one is already look how crowded it is already. There's not even that many people walking through it. And it's already tight quarters, like there's very little space. And during Halloween Horror Nights, there are so many people going through here that you can't hardly move. And look right here, look at what I see right here. I know exactly what this is going to be. This is going to be a jump out scare zone here. So many people hanging out there, hiding, and at the last second, when you're walking by, they're going to jump out at you. That's what this scare zone is notorious for, is those jump scares, people popping out. I wonder if there's space in here for somebody, yeah. There's definitely going to be somebody probably in there jumping out at you. Somebody in that planter over there jumping out at you. Yeah, ooh, check that out. There's a whole, like, airplane right there. Like a whole crashed airplane. That's neat. That's really cool. Oh yeah, and then up there we see a parachute So, and I see that the parachute is cut away right there, the straps. So I'm guessing that whoever was flying that plane either survived or they didn't survive and they became a zombie and they're haunting this area. Man, there's a ton of stuff in this zone. This was what I was talking about. So it's like so compact. What do you got there? Like an old-timey camera. I don't know what that is. A box for the camera. I'm not sure. Some sort of metal pole.
Maybe there's going to be a zombie tiger. There might be. Because there was a zombie pig.
And look right here. Ooh. Sickos. This is the camp. The zombie camp. Look at the little ammunition boxes. And look what they're cooking right there. Rats. Ew. And look, there's a char-grilled rat on that stick right there. Sick. Yeah, this thing just keeps going.
There's bats. Maybe a zombie.
Oh, yeah, there is. Candy just spotted these bats up here. There's a couple big bats. Bat creatures. Yeah, some sort of like little shields or something. And definitely, yeah. There's definitely going to be someone popping out of that for sure. More popping out here. Big giant spider. Look at the spider webs. And then we're at the end of the scare zone. So Jungle of Doom. That's this scare zone. It's not a super long one, but it's compact and there's a lot of stuff. I will say, sometimes we've come through at different on different days, like days of the week, and like different times of the season, and there won't be actually a lot of scare actors in that scare zone. I remember in the very beginning of Halloween Horror Nights, that thing was packed with people and packed with scare actors, and it was actually really sketchy in there. But then there was times we'd go through and there'd be like 3 people in there. So it depends on what you get, but it's pretty cool when it's fully decked out. All right, we're gonna keep on cruising, but back there by ET is where Universal Monsters Unmasked and Last of Us houses are. But again, as we said, because that's all construction there, probably the entrance is gonna be over there by the parade route, which I showed earlier. Maybe one of the entrances will be over here, maybe somewhere in this section to take you over there, or potentially over by Men in Black. And we got a lot of actors out today. Check it out, we got Doc Brown making the rounds from Back to the Future.
You people get out of the way! Get out of the way! All right, Marty, crank it up 1 notch. Okay? Marty, how do you feel? Okay? Look at this kid. How many of him do you see? Are you sure? Success! It works, ladies and gentlemen! Safe for human contact!
See that the food booths are out. There's one right behind me. A lot of them have really good food. Some of them have food that you're kind of scared to eat, like zombie brains last year. No, I think I gagged. I won't be getting those again this year if they have them again. But yeah, and they have specialty drinks, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, and specialty food items. And I wonder what scary food item we'll eat this year.
Well, we're walking through Simpsons Land and the big giant construction wall is down, and man, am I glad it's gone.
Me too. It was like, it brought everybody down to like a 2-file line.
Literally.
It was not good.
Not good. Can you imagine if that was there during Halloween Horror Nights?
No.
Like
And I didn't see any difference in anything, so I'm not really sure.
I didn't see anything either. I don't know what they were doing.
I don't know.
But yeah, I'm glad it's gone. If it was there during Halloween Horror Nights, forget about it. I wouldn't even walk over in this area because you would not be able to get through. All right, not a ton to see here. This is where Darkest Deal is going to be and Dr. Oddfellow's entrance. Again, maybe Last of Us entrance will be back here too because of the construction. Not a lot to see here yet, just has some scaffolding there. But we'll see if anything else pops in there. Okay, we made it into the Men in Black store, and I have absolutely nothing that I want to show you in here at all. I'm just so hot that I had to come into another store to get food off. Whew, is that? This could also be the entrance to the Dr. Oddfellow's house. There is a tent back there. I think you can kind of see it. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. You can see the tent back there, which will be the house. So Dr. Oddfellows, I'm pretty sure this is going to be maybe the entrance for that versus way over there by Men in Black. This is where Bugs Eaten Alive has been. Scary was back there. So yeah, that's not a lot to see at this point, but pretty sure that's where it's going to be. Right behind me, that's the big amphitheater back there. And the return of Nightmare Fuel Revenge Dream this year. Last year was Wildfire. The year before that, it was just Nightmare Fuel. So we've got a new show, hugely popular show. Lots of like crazy acrobatics and fire and stunts and all sorts of things. It's really actually pretty cool. A lot of people love it. Hugely popular. Not surprised it came back this year, but it is different. It will be a little bit different. It's called Revenge Dream. There is always like a storyline if you really pay attention to it.
Right behind me is normally where Chucky has been the last couple of years, where his little like box was. You could go in and get a picture like you're Chucky. But right now it's a food booth, which is usually positioned over there. I don't think it's the same exact one because it looks like one I've seen at a different location in the park. They've just moved it, but it has some scary things on it. I noticed the stage thing at the front had the same like logo there in the middle, some sort of scary skull. So I don't know if it has to do with that or what.
Yeah, I remember that exact booth being over there by E.T. last year. Kind of across from the dog actors thing, like in that little stretch there. I remember it being there for sure. So they've moved it over here and made it look a little bit different. Well, we're walking past Diagon Alley now. Nothing in there to show, but just a reminder, Death Eaters are supposed to be in here during Halloween Horror Nights. We'll see if they actually show up or not, because they haven't really talked about it much. They were sort of trialing it before Halloween Horror Nights to see how it went. It'll be the first time that they've been here. They're usually over at Islands of Adventure, so that'll be pretty exciting if they are.
We made it to Shipyard 32. It's supposed to be like Old New York, Dr. Oddfellow. Typically, this scare zone has a little bit more of like, I don't want to know if I should say evil looking characters, but a lot more menacing and scary and disturbing than the other scare zones, I feel like, every year. So it's probably going to be like that again this year. And they usually have like a performer, scare actor in there doing like a little scary performance. So it's probably going to be like that this year. I'll be interested in seeing what the characters look like with the Shipyard and maybe deckhands. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely getting Shipyard vibes out of this thing. It's pretty obvious. 1940s, New York Harbor. Looks pretty cool. I don't really see a stage, though, as they have had in previous years where they've had like a show. They could have people walking around down here, though, still, and doing like a little show, but I don't see like an actual stage. I'm going to guess there's going to be some creatures in there. So if you know the lore of Dr. Oddfellow, basically he unleashed a bunch of evil, disgusting creatures on the unsuspecting people of New York at the harbor. And that's what this one's about.
Found the Chucky food booth. That's new this year. I've never seen a Chucky food booth. I saw the little photo op over by Men in Black area. But now there's a food booth. It's back here by where the Blumhouse Haunted Houses were last year, Black Phone, and I forget the other one. It's right back in the back by Fast and the Furious. I wonder what kind of scary food they're going to have here.
As she said, the Chucky Haunted House will be right back here. That'll be the entrance for Chucky, right across from the Chucky food booth. So it's almost like a whole Chucky zone right here. So it looks like they're going to have another one of those sort of like meat locker areas like they did last year, where you kind of went into this little area here. Look at this warning quarantine area. This is going to be Last of Us this year instead of the meats locker. It's going to be this Last of Us quarantine area. And they're going to have food back here. It looks like I see a food booth. It says Ration Distribution Center, Federal Disaster Response Agency. And this looks like the exit. So that's pretty cool. Well, we made it into the Vamp 69 scare zone. They have an awesome school bus painted like the 60s. That's pretty cool. I wonder if there's going to be any monsters in those windows. Man, it is so hot. We got to get out of this heat. Looks like they've got a few banners up. Summer Music Fest 69. The stage was up last time we were here, but they didn't have quite as much stuff on the stage. They got a few barrels over there, colored, psychedelic. So this is where the big show is going to be this year. Okay, so we got some motorcycles up here now too. So we got instruments and we've got motorcycles. There's 3 motorcycles right there. There's another one over here. What's that say on it? Blood Slayers. Check that out. It's got a leather jacket on the back of it. So I guess there's going to be bikers hanging out here in this space. Back there's where Stranger Things and Dueling Dragons is going to be. Not really anything to look at. For me, I think I'm most excited about two houses. Dueling Dragons. Because, I mean, that ride was amazing back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that ride was it. That ride was him or her. It was awesome. I love that ride. So I'm excited to see what they do with Dueling Dragons. And then Last of Us, I think, like you said, I'm excited about that one. I think it's going to be really cool. I do think it's going to have the longest line in the park, though. I have a feeling it's going to be the longest. Yeah, for sure. Lots of food booths popping up. I think they've got pretty much all the food booths at this point. They got a couple up here. And back there, that's where the one that you're the most interested in, the Yeti, will be right back there. Which is weird to me they're using that as its spot, because usually the bigger houses like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween was back there, and they're going to have Yeti there, which I think is a weird spot for it, but that's supposed to be where it's at. Got some more food booths up here. And then also over here by Rip Ride Rocket, that's going to be the entrance over in this space to The Exorcist. The new Exorcist movie with the two little girls, not the old Exorcist. And that Exorcist house is the Blumhouse production, the Blumhouse house for this year. We didn't think there was going to be a Blumhouse because I saw Exorcist, and I thought it was weird that there wasn't going to be a Blumhouse, and then we realized it was the new Exorcist movie, which is a Blumhouse film, and we were like, okay, there we go, that's the Blumhouse. I knew there had to be something. And the entrance to the last house is going to be over here. It's called Blood Moon Dark Offerings, and I don't see anything there, no real construction updates. That house hasn't been very good in the last couple of years, what they've put in there, so I'm not expecting much. And we're back to the entrance. Yeah, I definitely think this is going to be the Dr. Oddfellow's scare zone. And I think Dr. Oddfellow is going to be hanging out over there in that purple thing. Well, overall, not a ton of Halloween Horror Nights merchandise out just yet. We've seen Exorcist, we've seen Stranger Things, we've seen Last of Us, a little bit of Universal Monsters and some of the other normal Halloween Horror Nights merch, but not a ton yet. So we will be on the lookout. I have a feeling they're not going to bring any of that. They're not going to release it until opening night, September 1st. Well, that's all the construction update. There wasn't a lot to show with the haunted houses, but all the scare zones seem like they're pretty much in place.
Yep.
And ready to go. All we need now is scare actors and lights and darkness. So I think it'll be pretty cool. One thing I forgot to mention is there is no water show this year. Unlike in previous years, they were doing some refurbishment. Something broke on it, I think, and then they just decided not to have one this year. So that's kind of disappointing because it was kind of cool last year. I thought that was a neat thing, but not going to have it this year. But we still got the Nightmare Fuel show, and I think we're going to get the Harry Potter. It's kind of like a little mini show with the Death Eater. So I don't know. Are you excited about Halloween Horror Nights? We are excited about Halloween Horror Nights. We will be there on opening night. Can't wait to see you. Hopefully, let us know if you're going to be there. Put down in the comments what you're most excited for. Until we see you next time, the Noble Way.
It's the easy way.
Bye-bye, everybody.